or certified in anything, really. So don't take my word for anything. I'm not trying to preach to you. I just felt like it was appropriate to come into this beautiful little place that I've seen photographs of weddings and altars and flowers and kids and people worshiping, and it's, you know, it's had its day like every place else and a lot of joy going on, but you know, that's just not the case here today, and probably not the case where you are either. You know, today's Easter, the 12th of April, 2020, and our nation's people are quote unquote locked down. That's a word and a phrase that we've probably never heard. Maybe the Japanese Americans heard it in World War II, but it's not new to us, certainly not to this generation. Businesses have been closed against their will, schools have been closed for the rest of the year, and churches are pretty much off limits in every regard. Most of the people are pretty scared, and that makes sense. You know, this is a scary time. It's very uncertain. So we, the people, are currently obeying the orders of quote-unquote stay at home, shelter in place, and flatten the curve, along with so many other catchphrases that are designed to rapidly whip the disobedient people back into obedience. The good people of America are obeying in perfect unity, just as planned and as instructed. This conditioning started long ago, far back when we were taught to stand in line in kindergarten or first grade, obediently waiting for the bell to ring, raising our hands to speak, told to sit, stand, be quiet, and obey your masters. It's really not our fault. It's a system that was created by mostly complacency, a system that is well designed, in the shadows by powers that we don't comprehend and that we can only speculate upon. Conditioning that is reinforced by the media, music, and culture, trusting and worshiping idols like musicians, Hollywood stars, athletes, and for some crazy reason, politicians. I don't get that one. But we do know deep inside, all of us know in our hearts and soul, that something's really not right. Something isn't good in this world right now. So the current narrative and the orders coming from the government, both federally and locally, is that it's all for your safety, they say. From the same leaders that would send your sons and daughters to die in wars for bankers, kill millions of innocent people worldwide, legalize abortion, as in New York, all the way up until the due date of the child. That's the child's natural birth date, and they die on that day. Your children are poisoned with vaccinations against your will. And you know, vaccination should be a voluntary thing. If you want to inject your kids with it, you should be able to. But if you don't, you should have that right as well. And that's probably just about to change radically in this country because of this event. So anyway, to go on, we're also basically subjected to thousands, tens of thousands of codes, statutes, and regulations that were created in your counties and your states and in the federal government that we don't know about, we can't know about. There's no way you can take in that much information. And it was really all without your consent, because if you knew about it, you wouldn't consent to it. But I guarantee you could walk down the street in any major city in America, maybe even small towns, drive your car down and break tens of hundreds of rules, whatever, without even knowing it. So they could enforce just about anything on you if they wanted to. Yeah, those same people in government who are telling us to sacrifice what is really dear to us for the sake of a virus really have no idea what's going on. Maybe they do. Never has there been a quarantine on healthy people in the world that I've ever heard of. That's always been reserved for the people that are contaminated, sick, or whatever. They should be quarantined, and that's right. Should be done without any question. I think it has historically been done quite a lot. But to put everybody on lockdown that's healthy, that's a little odd. It's a lot odd. It's not a little odd. So we the people are so conditioned that we have sacrificed our livelihoods, shuttered our small businesses, because it was unsafe to have human contact, even in your own barber shop. All the while we're stampeding like sardines into Walmart, Costco, and big box grocery stores for toilet paper, Bud Light, and Fruit Loops. Liquor stores and weed shops and abortion clinics stay open, as they are deemed essential, which your corner deli or family-run business is not. Have we not realized yet that we may not have anything to come back to if and when they allow you to come back into a normal life? Do we realize that we may not have a normal life again? Stop and think about it. Yes, my fellow Americans, we are proving our faith in these self-proclaimed leaders. And today, you clamor for your right to assemble in your church parking lots, able to sit in the comfort of your car and enjoy the preacher's iterations from God coming from his 501(c)(3) tabernacle? But the rulers of this land say, no, you can't even do that. You have no right to do that. You must stay at home and not assemble with people more than 10. And if you're in Michigan, it can't be more than 2 people. And you can't go across the street to talk to your neighbor. You must stay in the house and wait for word that it's safe to come out. But not from God, but from government. If you could only have church in your minivan, then this would all be worth it, right? Then tomorrow, Monday, after Easter, we go back to our lonely homes, apartments, trailer houses, or cardboard boxes in the alley. We'll continue to wait for the experts to tell us it's safe for us to be phased back into the world that we knew, the very world that you and I were naturally born into and are designed to thrive in. The very world that has and will be full of viruses, bacteria, and germs that your healthy body fights off day and night without you even knowing it. No, we've been scared by an invisible boogeyman called COVID-19. We're going to remember that word for a long time. It's worse than the Spanish flu, they say. It's going to kill up to 2 million Americans if we don't do anything. So let's get in our houses and hide as if we can keep that from happening. But those numbers have been reduced greatly, back down to 60,000. And nobody's come out and said, oops, we made a mistake. I doubt they ever will. They'll always use the excuse that we said it was going to be 2 million because you cowered into your homes, you all did your part, and we got it down to 60,000. Does anybody stop to realize that the flu in America kills over 78,000 people a year? 78,000. Heart disease kills over 350,000. Cars, just driving down the road in your car, I think it's somewhere around 200,000 plus a year. And I don't see us shutting cars down or closing the highways for your safety. It's not going to happen. There's more to this, right? You get that, right? I think you do. But here we are. We're in empty churches, sitting in our houses, binging on Netflix. So we stay glued to our screens, following the advice of the unelected technocrats based on junk science and medicine that is designed to make you sick or sicker. Instead, we succumb to the threats of peer pressure and cower into our homes, all in the name of fear of government and the banishment from the herd. Yeah, we don't want to get that thumbs down on Facebook. We don't want to be ridiculed, or that beautiful laughing face. Don't you love that? That's like the in the shadows, the little creeps they send out when they don't have any words to say. They just want to make you feel bad. But it does trigger a lot of people. I get it. So it's designed to do that. But we're falling right in line with that. So what does God say about fear? I'm not a preacher or pastor. There's plenty of them out there. Plenty of them. I'm just going to say what I've read, and it makes sense to me. Like I said, I'm no theologian. To say the least, right? And I pretty much have been disillusioned by the mega feel-good church scene anyways. So I'll have to rekindle my desire. But I haven't lost my desire for truth, and I think God's word is definitely truth. So, in 2 Timothy, I've written this down, so it's not like I haven't memorized it. 2 Timothy 1:7, God says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but the power and love, and of a sound mind." Where's the sound mind, folks? You want to go to church, you're sitting in your car, you're sitting in your little car in the parking lot with your latte from Starbucks or whatever, and you're cowering in fear because you don't have a sound mind. You can't think of the reality here. So anyways, I'll go on. Psalms 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." So, do we have faith? I think a lot of people do. Yeah, I'm not going to discredit people for having faith, but it's time for that sound mind part to come in. And finally, I say, do not follow my advice, of course, because I'm only a man who only went part-time to public school and do not know everything, or maybe not very much. I think it was Albert Einstein who said, the more I know, the more I realize I don't know, or something like that. I only hope that we Americans will once again have the courage of the generations before us and not let those many sacrifices for our freedoms be taken away with just this slight little whimper. Seriously. Well, today, I'd like to leave this little gathering here, gathering of one, with something God has said, and through His Word, of course. It's not something I've practiced most of my life, but I've been aware of it most of my adult life. And until we meet again, sooner than later, I hope that we don't dwell upon the past too much, but look into the future. It's much brighter than we think. And God bless you all, and happy Easter. So this one is, many of you know this. My family could cite this in their sleep. Ephesians 6:10 through 17. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's the whole armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you might be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers, over the present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. Okay, so you could go on and understand what the armor of God is, and it's pretty important because it goes into detail. But if you practice it, I think you do have the armor of God on. So I'll just leave it at that, and that's all for today, class, and God bless you. Get outside, do a little exercise, and disobey, okay? I'm not giving you that as a directive, I'm only giving you that as a suggestion. So be courageous. Stand up for something, okay? Don't be that little creep in the background that just doesn't say anything, afraid of the world. Americans are not afraid of people. And right now we're acting like cowards. We really are. So I'm just wondering what the point of no return is for American people. I hope it's soon. And I don't trust the leaders of this country or the leaders of the world for that matter, and I'm not knocking one politician over the other, because in fact, I'll get criticized for this, but I don't even vote. And a lot of people say, well, that shouldn't give me a right to speak about who's in office. And I think it gives me more right because I didn't vote them in, okay? You have to answer for that one. But when you give credibility to the ones that don't deserve credibility, you get what you deserve. And we're in a real quagmire politically in the country, and certainly in our personal lives. It's about time for this country to open back up, for the totalitarian counties and cities to back off, the thuggery police departments to quit harassing Americans. Yeah, get a $1,000 fine there walking on the street when you don't have a job. Get locked up in a, sweaty jail cell with 40 other people because you didn't distance yourself from other people. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? So, have a good day. I love all of you guys, and leave some comments, even if they're negative. Or don't leave those little laughy emojis, okay? I don't like those things. Adios. Oh, let me show you the church. Isn't it sad? So sad. So my cousin Phil today, he did an instrumental of Amazing Grace. Surprised he didn't sing it, so I'll give it a little try. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Look at that. We can all go outside together. Isn't it beautiful out here? God's creation. Gotta love it.